We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Pumpkinhead, Issue 2. This is a 2018 miniseries from Dynamite. Both stories were written by Cullen Bunn. The main story, art by Blacky Shepherd. The backup story, art by Strahm. Colors by Thiago Ribeiro. And letters for both stories by Troy Peteri. I have cover B with art by Blacky Shepherd and colors by Marie Enger. I was really not impressed with that cover. It's weird looking. What's going on Pumpkinhead's leg going into this lady's face? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So the primary story, we've got this guy looking for revenge who has summoned Pumpkinhead, and of course they live like people did in the 1700s. I guess they're supposed to be kind of Amish or something, but they have a wagon. That's weird. So Pumpkinhead is out for vengeance while they're sitting around, and a bunch of guys with AKs try and shoot him down, and it doesn't really stop Pumpkinhead. But Clayton, who's one of the primary targets of Pumpkinhead and has this big deer skull tattoo, he is able to get away with these other two people, including Bedelia, who recognizes what Pumpkinhead is and apparently knows a little bit about him and knows that he is vengeance made flesh, according to the story. So Clayton Reese is being given harbor by these two, which makes them a target as well. Now this lady knows that Clayton killed those kids in issue 1, and Pumpkinhead gives them quite the run for their money as they try and escape. Now the cops are trying to figure out what's going on, and they're not getting very far. So Clayton and his two friends go to see this lady Nettie. She's an old woman, and Bedelia knows that it's her sister Haggis who has summoned Pumpkinhead, and it turns out these are witches, and they're going to summon some other creatures for some reason. And then we jump to the backup story where we see what happened to one of the sisters who had a monster at her disposal and things didn't go well. That was a really short backup, and it was kind of pointless and dumb. The art on both stories is really a mixed bag. There's some really good panels on the main story and some really garbage ones too. Really stiff looking. I think the artist has some talent, but it's not great art. Colorist did a pretty decent job overall though. The backup story I didn't care for at all. I thought the art was terrible and the story was pointless and just there to fill space. The main story, however, was pretty interesting. Cullen Bunn does very good with horror stuff most of the time. Not really my thing, but I can recognize that he's got some talent for horror. Not superhero stuff though. So I thought the storyline was pretty decent, and it would probably make a decent low-budget movie so far. We'll see how it wraps up, because the ending of this one was a bit silly, but it could be interesting if they play it out well. I would say this is good dollar bin material, but it's not something I would pay the full price for. $4 was probably pretty exorbitant at the time, and if you're paying more than $1 for this, probably gonna feel a little cheated, just because the art is pretty weak and the backup story is completely pointless. So that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.